What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the We'll See You Later podcast, episode 21, brought to you by Happy's Energy and Nutrition. I am your co-host, Jeremy.
And I'm Jordan.
He's back, folks.
I'm back. It's been we found out 3 months.
3 months, Jordan's
I
been
can't
gone.
believe it's been that long. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not sorry.
Work.
It was a slow summer. It was a slow summer personally and a very busy summer for work. Like, I know this sounds terrible, but there was a couple weeks where I actually worked 40 hours and it was just, my body couldn't handle it.
He wasn't built for it.
I wasn't. No, I mean,
All right, that's why he went to school.
like, here, let's look at this.
He wasn't supposed to do that.
I'm not even going to school this semester because, well, that you'll hear that later.
Oh.
So
we went 4 episodes by myself, by the way.
Yeah.
4 straight.
So, like, here's June. June was fine. So in June, this is week by week. This is how many hours I worked in a week. Starting in the first week of June, 3 hours. 1 week. 11, 5, 6. Then we get to July.
Oh, yeah.
33, 28, 27, 31, 42, 18. But if you go back, like, I'm normally, most that I would work in a week is like 24 hours.
By the way, guys, Jordan travels all over.
I do.
The state.
80% of my work is driving.
Yeah.
But it still counts.
So when he says 40, it's not like he's just going to the warehouse and working 3 hours and going home.
No.
He does robotic shit for your surgeries. He does all that.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius. So
I knew the right people.
So Jordan's back.
I'm back.
So Jordan missed week 1.
I did.
Of college football. I should have just asked your predictions on some of these, but
I gave them to you, honestly.
So I texted Jordan and said about the Arkansas prediction, and he said Hogs by 90.
I was close.
And then I said, damn right. And then he edited it, because now you can edit your text, and said UAPB. And I said, I hate you. I'm done. I'm done with him.
You didn't say you hate me until I said
you were talking.
I can't believe it took the Hogs 3 minutes to score on UAPB.
Yep, I was done.
Listen, I honestly think that Pulaski Academy would have given them a better run for their money.
I don't know about that. But I don't know about that. So we're going into Pig Walk.
Pig Walk.
There it was. Last week, guys, we went 3-2 in our Piggums is what I call it. Piggums. I went 3-2. Jordan went 0-0. I came really close on a prediction though.
I was 4-1.
Oh yeah. He would have been 4-1. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would have been 4-1.
Somebody picked Penn State over.
No, I picked West Virginia to beat Penn State.
That's what I'm saying. You picked Penn State to get beat by West Virginia.
I did. It was at West Virginia. I had a good feeling they got. It was a good game until halftime, and then they blew up. I predicted the score to be 52-10 at the Arkansas game. I did think PB would.
I thought we were still talking about Penn State.
No.
West
I
Virginia. I was about to say no.
I thought that PB would score late. With the trash, but they did not. They didn't do anything.
No.
But Taylor Green, we picked him as the MVP. He was the MVP. I said 4 touchdowns. He scored 4, but I said 3 through the air, 1 on the ground. I said he'd throw for 270. He threw for 230, so 40 yards shy. He did throw for 2 touchdowns. He ran for 2. I said he was going to run for 78 yards. He did 88 yards.
Those are solid predictions. Like, I'm gonna commend you on that.
Yeah, I was like, I picked the right. I did 3-1. I should have done 2-2, and then I should have went down on the passing yards and up just a smidge on the rushing yards.
Listen, I don't care. I still think that's an amazing prediction.
Not bad.
Good on you.
It's not bad. So episode 21, guys. We're going into week 2. This is the tester week, I think.
This is going to be the week that we see. I understand there were some upsets in week 1.
Yeah.
But this is the week where I think I have more upsets.
Yeah, you do?
That I think are going to happen versus, the general media.
So we're going to get into 5 games.
Yeah, we got our 5 games that we selected for college football.
5 Piggums.
And
then our 6th one, we're going to add a 6th, but the 6th one is an upset. It's going to be a top 25 upset. That's not like an Arkansas, Oklahoma
upset
State
prediction. Yeah,
yeah, like
the Arkansas one doesn't count because obviously go Hogs.
Right. So we're not going to put that as that because that would have been an easy, cheap shot. We had to go find a top 25, and we did 2 different ones as well. First Piggum, biggest game of the week.
Oh yeah,
is number 3 Texas, 7.5-point favorites, going to number 10 defending national champion Michigan.
But that's not the national champion.
It is not. But I'm saying This is a big one.
That's
this
a big
is
game.
the biggest game. This is where game day is
Going
going to
into
be.
Big Blue is hard for any team, whether Michigan's ranked 10 or they're ranked 35. Going into Big Blue is tough.
How does this make you feel? SEC is going into Big Ten country.
Yeah.
We have to say that now, right?
Yeah,
it's I'm not going to lie to you. I want to throw up saying Texas is in the SEC.
I hate having to pick Texas because, obviously go SEC, but
I don't even do that.
It's hard. You're picking Michigan?
No. But I'm saying I don't do the whole SEC bullshit.
Oh, where it's SEC or bust?
Yeah, I don't do that. Last week, USC beat LSU.
I picked USC.
I picked that. The only thing that Jordan would have picked differently out of the 5 was he would have picked Penn State.
Yeah.
So you would have picked. No, yeah, your loss would have been A&M.
That would have been because I would have picked A&M to win. Granted, even now, I can sit back and say, before that game, I would have been A&M because Notre Dame always seems to fall in the big games.
They got that Clemson syndrome.
Yep.
But
you can't call it a Clemson syndrome because Clemson won some natties.
Right. I'm just saying, Notre Dame always has that when they play a big school. It's they can't move the ball. They never move the ball. But this first game, Texas, number 3, 7.5 point favorites versus number 10, Michigan. Do you think, first of all, we're going to predict our winners? I think we both picked the same.
We did.
I think
from
we
top
picked
to bottom.
this, except for there's one game we did not.
We picked the same NFL.
Yes, we did.
So I don't even know what you picked here.
I'm 3-2 overall. Jordan's 0-0, and that's okay. I did 5.
Where's my 4-1?
Oh yeah, you would.
Yeah, give me my 4-1.
We're gonna give it to him. Jordan's 4-1. We're gonna give it to him, even though he wasn't here live to do that.
Yeah, I didn't pick live.
All right, Jordan's 4-1. Jeremy's 3-2. On hit their pigums. All right,
is this against the spread or this is straight up?
I'm going straight ups, and then your upset.
Yeah,
your upset could be. That's why I'm saying on upsets, you can pick a spread, or you can pick a full blown upset.
Okay.
I think that would be your pick. We'll call it your upset lock of the week.
Yeah.
Of they're going to beat the spread or they're going to outright.
Okay.
Who would you bet? So we both select Texas. I think Texas wins outright for sure. And I think, do you think they beat the spread? Do you think they win by more than 7.5 points? 7.5.
I do. I don't think. I think Michigan showed weakness last week. And they showed that they're not quite. Granted, first game of the season, everybody's getting their jitters out. I just don't. I don't see it. Texas is good.
I think this is a lower scoring game on Michigan's part.
Yeah,
I think Texas scores 24-27,
and I think Michigan only gets
10-13.
Yeah,
I think they score one tutty and maybe a field goal or two. One's a long field goal.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, I don't see Michigan scoring a lot.
No,
in this one, I see Texas in that 24-28 range for sure. Quentin Ewers, I think he's a stud. I mean, I do. I'm still really confused about the whole Arch Manning,
why he chose to stay.
Yeah, he got to be getting paid a lot to do nothing. I don't get that, but we're going Texas here. Game 2, big game 2. Tennessee, number 14. At number 24, NC State. Tennessee is 8.5 point favorites. We both picked the same again.
Nico is the real deal. I said that earlier. I stand by it. That kid is 6'4", has a what is it? What did Peyton Manning say? 6'6", laser rocket arm.
Yeah,
that's
a freak.
Nico. He's unbelievable.
Tennessee wins this game, and I think they win big.
I mean, this kid used to go out in the 7-on-7s like they have in high school now in pajamas.
Yeah,
he would wear pajama pants and just go out there and make people look silly.
Mark it down. How do you say his last name? Do you know?
I am Aliyah.
It's a wild last name, but Nico, the quarterback at Tennessee, Heisman candidate. He should be in the Heisman final.
Oh, he will be.
So
yeah, he'll be a top. If he finishes the season healthy, he will be a top 3 Heisman.
There we go.
He can do it all.
He's a stud. You're going to learn more and more about him. That's why Tennessee scares me against Arkansas.
He's putting Tennessee back on the map.
But he's a stud.
Yeah.
If they show up for him at all, that team's going to be dangerous. We both picked Tennessee here, and I'm picking the spread.
Breaking news: USC just retired Caleb's number.
Oh dear God. Why?
They did. Caleb Williams, number 13, just got retired by
For
USC.
what?
I don't know.
Is Reggie Bush's number retired?
No.
Are you kidding me? Is Matt Leinert's?
Why?
Same question for Bo Callahan. Caleb Williams
I'm
won a
gonna start him
Heisman
this week against you just because.
Caleb Williams won a Heisman, and they went, 8-4?
Yeah.
And they were terrible.
They were bad.
They got their ass beat when they played someone that was decent.
Sorry, didn't mean
He's horrible.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I can't wait.
I got your fire
I
boot.
can't wait for all
your
this.
shirt and your face match your red background
He
there.
wanted so badly to have ownership of this football franchise that drafted him.
Yep.
He is the next. You can clip this. This could be
Oh, here it
completely.
comes.
You can come back to haunt me on this. I will stand on this hill and die on this hill. Jamarcus Russell 2.0.
10 toes in.
10 toes down, 2 ass cheeks down. I'm setting up
You're
camp.
planting on
I
this
am
flag.
laying down on the ground. Jamarcus Russell 2.0. He is going to be terrible. I don't care. They're all about him in this. He can run, throw.
But he can't. He's not, in my mind, he's not a Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick.
No,
He's not that kind of runner.
I think he's worse.
He's not even a Tim Tebow runner to me.
No,
I just think he can. When they say run, I think run in the pocket.
I don't care. I think that the guy that they got rid of to get him is better. I think Justin Fields is better than him. I think Caleb Williams is a flop. I also just think the Bears are a joke. Sorry, I don't want that to be. I'm not a hater of the Bears. I think that you shit the bed because I thought Justin Fields was amazing. Like, I think he's a great quarterback. I don't know about like elite, but I'm saying size-wise, arm-wise, leg-wise, you could have built around him. You'll find out in 2 years' time, 3 years' time when Caleb Williams, I'm going to say within 5 years, he's no longer a starter. Not even close.
I say within 3 years, he wins a playoff game.
I don't care about a playoff game. I'm talking about anything in general. Like, I don't think he's a starter in the NFL within 5 years.
Okay.
Within 5 years, Caleb Williams,
What was that?
Mark
dude's-
Sanchez.
What was the dude's name from UCLA that they thought was going to be
Hundley?
Josh Rosen? Josh Rosen.
Hundley?
No, Josh Rosen.
Oh, I don't know. I know Hundley.
Where there was like a top. He was like a top 10 pick, top 15 pick.
I just saw a crazy stat too. I forgot who it was, but it was like showing 5 quarterbacks that are still in the league. That I think it was Baker Mayfield's thing
What about him?
of like who's still in the league and playing out of the guys,
That
and it was
draft
like
class?
one. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Caleb Williams. You got to flop bust Bo Callahan. I'm telling you
I
right
don't
now.
think So
If you don't know who Bo Callahan is, guys, go watch the movie Draft Day. And he had that the owner had this feeling about this quarterback that everybody was on out of Wisconsin. That to me is Caleb. I got a gut feeling trash.
We'll see. And
I'm
it's not
calling
just
it.
because he's on my fantasy team. Like
He's his backup.
he's my.
I
He may
think
be
he's-
my starter this week after the trash you're talking.
I think he's horrible.
Because I know it would crush your soul to get beat by.
I think he's gonna be horrible.
by
I think
Caleb
he
Williams.
is not gonna do crap.
Okay.
Game 3. This is the upset ish.
This was my first upset. This is the one I wanted to add to our top 5 games just because
Yeah, you think it's gonna be a game?
I think it's gonna be a game, but I'm also I'm a hopeless romantic when it comes to running games.
Okay.
I don't think the running game is dead in football. And that kid from I can't even tell you his name. It's sad. I'm sorry, but the kid from Tulane is a freaking stud.
Mm-hmm.
That
So
running
we
back
have
from Tulane.
number 17 now, Kansas State, 9-point favorites over Tulane Green Wave
At Tulane. New Orleans can get rowdy.
And Tulane's they're one of them teams that's kind of like a fringe 12 seed going into the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're there, but they can go 10-2, 11-1.
Tulane could, with a win like this and boosting their confidence, Tulane could find themselves in a very good spot.
And they
come
can
December.
score. They can score.
Yeah.
So we're picking here.
That's my first upset of the week. Y'all are gonna giggle at all mine going on.
This right here is where we differ. I picked Kansas State to win. I don't know about the spread.
What's
I
the
don't-
spread? 9 points.
9. That's a big. But
I'll
you
take the
picked-
spread.
You have to
I'll take the spread.
because you picked
I picked Tulane on the
Tulane
spread.
to win it. So you have to pick the spread.
I got Tulane winning.
Yeah, he has them winning outright. So
outright.
obviously they're
All
gonna
of
beat
my
the spread.
upsets, I have winning outright.
Yeah.
There-
So when
I
we
have-
pick these guys,
dreams are getting crushed this weekend.
when we pick these pig'ems, it's outright wins.
Yep.
And then our upsets can be spreads or.
I don't want it. I got Tulane winning.
So you have Tulane overall. I've got Kansas State. I think it's going to be close. I don't know anything about Kansas State, and so
We never do.
So I don't want to say, but I just want to believe that Kansas State is more
Kansas-
athletic than Tulane as a whole.
I'll give Kansas State they're the new Wisconsin, Nebraska. Like they're ranked because of history.
Okay.
Because of is it not Dan Snyder?
George Washington.
No, Snyder. I just don't remember his first name, but they had a legendary coach who was there forever.
So that's
my thing is like it's history that got them ranked. I don't think Kansas State's gonna be ranked by the end of the year.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
I don't know because I don't know their schedule. But Tulane, this is a big game that has been circled for them. I don't think it was circled for Kansas State. I still say Kansas State just does it because I think that they're going to be better athletically. But Tulane's quarterback last year, I don't know if he's still there, was a monster as well.
He's still there.
That boy can throw.
And their running back was a freshman. He's a sophomore.
He's on my fantasy team. Game 4, rivalry game in week 2.
Yeah.
Shall we?
I mean, they didn't even, there was no hesitation. They said, let's just get this out of the way.
Iowa State. I know it might not be crazy. Iowa State at number 21, Iowa.
This is a new Iowa team.
And Iowa's a 2-point favorite.
This is not a boring.
That's what scares me.
This is not a boring, bull-nosed Iowa team anymore. They got Cade McNamara at quarterback who transferred in from Michigan. And everybody was blown away by the way they moved the ball down the field in the second half of their first week game. And I think that's going to continue. I like Cade McNamara. I liked him when he was at Michigan. But that's why I took Iowa here, is because I think they still got that stout defense that they got those country-fed boys on defense that like to get to the quarterback. And they play not great defense, but they play good enough defense that, and they would play good enough defense that they were winning games.
Yep.
And now you got
7-3 kind of games.
Yeah, and you've got an offense that can at least put up. I mean, I know this is sad to say, they got an offense that can put up 18 or more points a game. Iowa's going to be scary this year. I think Iowa makes the college playoffs.
Oh wow, okay,
yeah,
that's bold. I don't know their schedule either, so I don't want to call that.
Where there being 12 teams now, it's easy to just say that. So I'm just.
Well, we know for sure Florida State's not in it.
No, that's hilarious.
I like Iowa because we think of the defensive side of things. I think this is going to get a little bit it might be mucky early, but Iowa can I think they can actually put together a long, slow drive. So I think this is going to be like a 21-7, 21-10, maybe even 21-3. I don't see Iowa State scoring more than 10 points, but I can see Iowa finally scoring more than 10 points. I don't think this is a 10-3 game, but it could be. I don't know. But
it may be.
Quarterback play, I feel like, is what they've been missing for forever.
Yeah,
that everybody just stacks the box because you're not going to throw it. Now you have a guy who can. So that's what I believe Iowa's been missing as well.
Oh, just a little sidebar. Speaking, you said people stacking a box and throwing. Navy threw more touchdowns in their last game than I think they did all season last season. God. It was beautiful. It's a new era.
Navy's back, baby.
New era, baby. Anchors away.
All right, and then our featured game of the week, because this is the Pig Walk. We are all about these Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas goes to Stillwater against the number 16 now. They moved up one spot because Florida State got knocked the hell out. 7.5-point favorite, Oklahoma State Cowboys. 11 a.m. kickoff time. The mullet's gone. It's not really there anymore.
Yeah. This is for Arkansas, my opinion.
By the way, okay, now we're going to get into this too. If we're talking Arkansas football, Jordan last year, past couple years,
I was done.
He's been done with the football program because of Sam Pittman.
I was done with Sam Pittman.
Then
I love my Hogs. I was done with Sam Pittman.
Yep.
And before we signed Bobby Petrino, I told you, until Sam Pittman's gone, I'm not watching Hog football. I said it. I'll admit it. I said it.
And then Jeremy's prediction came true.
It did. You called that. You called that as soon as the season was over.
I said Bobby P was coming back as offensive coordinator. And I said this whenever he was at Missouri State.
You did.
And whenever he came to the touchdown club and cried and apologized, and everybody, I said that's his acceptance of we were forgive you. And then he came into Fayetteville and almost beat us with Missouri State. And I said, he's coming back to be our offensive coordinator. The one thing I have not gotten right yet, which is still my high hope, is Coach O is going to come be our offensive or defensive line coach.
I don't think that's going to happen.
That's going to happen.
No.
Go ahead though. But he was all about it.
I was off the train. I didn't think Arkansas was going to ever amount to anything, just because, again, like I said earlier, I said if Sam Pittman can come in, be a great recruiter, dominate with the offensive line, I believe he could be a great Arkansas head coach. But he has to have those two things because he's not an X's and O's guy.
No.
But he brought in high ceiling guys to be the offensive coordinator, and it just didn't pan out.
Well, Kendall did all right.
But here, those coaches do great with great talent.
They do.
And at Arkansas, we just don't have the recruiting right now. You got to find someone who can do great with little talent.
Yeah.
That's why I was all in on the head coach from Appalachian State.
Okay.
And I was all in bringing Bobby P back because Bobby P can win with a lot of people.
He's such a great offensive mind.
Yeah. And so I was here for that. And as soon as it happened, I was like, okay, well, I'll watch the Hogs again because I want to watch Bobby P's offense. Mm-hmm. And Sam Pittman's fine. Sam Pittman even said it. He's like, oh, I ignored the offensive line and I'm not letting that happen again. That was my baby and I let it go. He's listening to me. Yeah. It took a while for my words to sink in and get from here to Fayetteville, but he finally heard me and he's focusing on the offensive line, who played great.
That's all he needs to work on.
We had the SEC offensive line of the week, which was great. And so he's listening to me, and that made me happy. And I'm still thinking, like, if Sam doesn't continue this path and continue to recruit, granted, our defensive coordinator is recruiting his butt off.
Yeah.
And I love our defensive coordinator, and I love Bobby P. So as long as those guys stick around and believe the beliefs, and we can get Sam Pittman to just recruit and stay on that offensive line, then go Hogs.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
If one thing I'll say Sam does amazingly, he doesn't coach like he hired an offensive coordinator. He allowed Kendall Browse to run that. Barry Odom ran the defense.
Yep.
And I don't know exactly what Sam was running. I'm going to say at the beginning he was trying to run our offensive line.
Yeah.
But he also wore the hat when they messed up.
Yeah. Oh, he took a lot of bullets.
But then last year, horrible hire, we all agree, with Dan Enos. Like, horrible hire.
Bad.
It
didn't work out the first time.
It didn't. And so he had to focus a lot more on that offense than he really wanted to.
Yeah.
And then I think he kind of skipped over the fact that you're an offensive line coach, and he was having to wear the fact that, oh shit, my job's in jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys suck. And my coach sucks. Like, Kendall Browse can kind of figure out what to do with what we had and did pretty decent at it. Now, I'd still disagree with a lot of his play calling on run, pass, punt, but he still worked better with what he had than Dan Enos ever did.
No.
And so I think Sam is finally focusing on what he's good at. There's no way in the world you can try to run shit by Bobby Petrino, but Bobby's running Bobby shit.
No, he said thanks for the input, but I'm doing me.
Right. And one thing that's a little crazy for me, and I have this question. We're like, everybody's so excited for Bobby Petrino, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's talking more about Bobby Petrino's win than Sam Pittman's win, right? Like,
because look what the offense did. That had nothing to do with Sam Pittman.
Right. But my question is this. If we lose, do we blame Sam? And if we win, are we praising Bobby? Because I feel like that's where we're at. Sam's going to wear the losses more?
You're not asking the right question. Is it what are we going to do or what should we do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if we go, I'm 6-6, 7-5, 8-4, are we praising Bobby and not really giving Sam his flowers? Or are we, if we go 5-7, 4-8, we're going to fire him? But, like, are we blaming him for the losses and only accepting the wins for Bobby?
Here's what I hope that me and all the other fans do, and this is how I believe it should be. Game to game, we blame the losses, we blame the individual losses on the coordinators. If the season as a whole is a loss, you blame it on Sam Pittman for not making a change.
Yeah.
Or not making a change, not demanding change from his coordinators, or not putting his foot down on his coordinator. So if the season is a loss, I blame Sam Pittman. Game to game, like,
you got to go with
you've got to go with the coordinators because they didn't call a good game.
Fair enough.
But we know how I am, and I'm just gonna be like, man, get rid of Pittman.
Yeah.
After, like,
that's what. Well, I'm noticing that more people. So in baseball, you have a perfect game. You can shoot perfect in basketball. You can do all these amazing things in football. We've never fully seen. I don't know how to say a perfect game. I believe that the Arkansas Razorbacks, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Hog fan, had the perfect game.
It was a perfect game.
They scored touchdowns. I don't care who you're playing. You scored 10 touchdowns on 10 possessions. You gave up 0 points. I think it was 7 yards rushing.
Even with your third string in.
That's the massive thing. The whole second half. 10-minute quarters, by the way. So 10 minutes of a football game was missing. 10 minutes. We would have scored 3 more touchdowns. We could have scored 100. They gave up 7 yards rushing.
Like you said, it doesn't matter who you're playing. Yes, we were playing UAPB. Yes, okay, fine. Not even a FBS school. Got it. But people can drop balls. People can miss a route. People can miss a
flags.
Granted, I was terrified. I won't say terrified. I was not confident in Taylon Green in that the first quarter and some of the second. Some of his throws were ugly as sin. They weren't pretty. Like you had some open guys, and then you could see he would get frustrated, and he would miss an open receiver, and then he would go right back to that receiver, and it almost caused a couple interceptions.
His first play should have been a pick.
It should have been, and he's just got to keep his head on. Like you can't. Once a play's gone, you got to let it go, kid. But towards the end of his game, not the game because he didn't play the whole game, but towards the end of his game, his throws looked more crisp, like on point where they needed to be. That throw to Washington in the corner of the end zone was beautiful on the run. So I think the kid has the talent. He's just got to keep it consistent.
130 total yards for Pine Bluff.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I just think it's a perfect game.
Not counting the 60-yard touchdown that got called.
Yeah. So let's go with our pick first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Arkansas.
We're both picking Arkansas to win this game, not just because I'm a pig. I'm not gonna lie to you. Last week, I chalked this up as a loss.
So
overall,
this is going to be, for me, this is going to be a shroud. This is going to be a shroud win because it's going to look great on paper. Like when we got up to number 5 one year, because we were beating teams that were high ranked. It shouldn't have been high ranked.
So you say
I don't think Oklahoma State should be ranked as high as they are. Granted, if Ollie Gordon finds his groove and goes off, they may stay in the top 25. But as a whole, I don't think Oklahoma State is a top 25 team. And I think that they showed that last week. And so this win is going to look great for us now. By the end of the season, it's not going to be that impressive of a win.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to see their schedule.
Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
They
don't have a bad one.
I mean, they have.
They're going to be good. Oklahoma State could be if they beat us.
If they beat us,
they are. Even if they don't, they are a fringe. You ready for this? Playoff team.
No.
Listen to their schedule. Arkansas.
Okay.
At Tulsa.
Okay.
This is they have back-to-back weeks here where this is their schedule of at home against number 11 Utah. Don't know about that one.
Okay.
On the road against number 17 Kansas State, who we have Tulane beating. You do.
Yep.
Then they have West Virginia, BYU, Baylor, Arizona State, TCU, Texas Tech, and Colorado. They can win all those games.
Do they not play OU?
Nope. No, that's over. OU's SEC. They don't do that.
It is, but that's a rivalry game, so I didn't know if they would try to. All right, cool. Well.
And they don't play. They're the new Big 12. They don't play nobody.
Yeah.
They are the favorite to win the Big 12 now. Because they are the Big 12.
Yeah, well like I said,
Oklahoma State
weekend will be a big.
If they can get through November, playoff team probably. If they can get through, I'm sorry, not November, September.
Okay.
They can get through us, Utah,
and Kansas State.
Okay. Which is crazy to hear because that to me is bullshit.
Yeah.
I would love that schedule.
No, instead we have the 20th toughest schedule in the nation,
which is crazy because normally we're top 10 on that.
Yeah.
But still.
That's because we don't play Alabama, Georgia, Texas, or we play Texas. We don't play Alabama, Georgia, OU, Florida.
Which Florida lost?
Yeah,
so we don't play them.
Florida's not Florida.
I tell you who I want to play, South Carolina. They look like crap. Anyways, we're both picking Arkansas to win outright.
Yep.
Final score, do you have a prediction of that at all? Or an idea?
35-21.
Okay, I think both teams are going to score and score a lot. I do. I think 41-38 Hogs with a last-second field goal or a last under 2-minute field goal to win it. And then Oklahoma State's got to go back and maybe they shank their field goal or some last play they don't score.
I don't think it's gonna be that close. I think our front seven dominate OSU's
I love that
front seven.
I hope that's a thing. We're gonna score.
We're gonna take Ollie out of the game. I think we're gonna get up early. We're gonna get up 2 scores. 2 scores, maybe 3. We may get up 17. I say we get up 17-0.
Wow.
And then they have to start throwing it, and you take Ollie out of the game. If you can do that, but I think a late surge. Arkansas's front seven is thin. We don't have a lot of depth there. But so I think we start hot, we start early, we get them tired, but then by the third quarter, I think we give up 21. We give up 21, and I say they probably score at least a touchdown in the first half, and then we give up the rest in the third and fourth quarter.
Okay.
And then like I said, 35-21 is my final.
Okay.
But we probably only have one score in the second half.
Okay, so we kind of fizzle.
Yeah.
But I just think our secondary is vulnerable. I thought that if Pine Bluff had some time, that touchdown pass is going to be a touchdown with anybody that's not Pine Bluff. Okay, so if we look at this, Oklahoma State just played it's FCS, right? Is that what?
Yeah.
The FCS 2-time defending champion, the best team in the FCS, and they won 40-21. Arkansas
I thought North Dakota State was
No, South Dakota State beat them 2 years in a row.
Who
did they play yesterday or last week?
Because North Dakota played Colorado.
South Dakota's won the past 2 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Undefeated.
That's how much I pay attention.
South Dakota State was so ballsy at this Oklahoma State. They had won 29 games in a row.
Damn.
Like they're
no Harding.
No. But they played the number 1 team in the FCS for the past 2 years at home and won 40-21. It did take some time to space that out. First half was a little rocky. Yeah. Not going to lie to you, South Dakota State was moving the ball, like easily moving the ball, got down to the red zone and had some miscues. We can't have that. Arkansas played the second worst team in the FCS.
Yeah.
So if we're going off comparisons, we did exactly what we were supposed to do. We shut down the second worst team in the FCS and dominated them. Great job. They dominated late on the scoreboard, but not really on the stat, other than Ollie doing Ollie.
Yeah.
They threw the ball well against South Dakota State, but South Dakota State threw the ball fantastic as well against Oklahoma State's secondary.
Yeah, so
I believe we're going to move it. It's going to come down to turnovers. Who can cause them? I'm hoping it's us. I'm hoping our linebackers put pressure on that 40-year-old quarterback, and he throws an errant deep ball that's in double coverage, or he just sails one, and we get
Clark takes it,
and we get a cheap pick or two, and some deflections. And I hope that first of all, this offensive line, I hope that they're the real deal. Not saying they have to be amazing, but like he did not get pressured really, Talon, at all.
Except on his run.
But that wasn't even, he was waiting.
He rolled out,
Yeah, he rolled. So he wasn't pressured. I would like to see him under pressure, making a better decision. A couple of his throws, not the first one. Okay, I'm okay with the deep ball being 5 yards short and almost being picked off. I don't really care. It's the first play of the game.
Yeah.
There was some slant routes that he reminded me of KJ Jefferson, who throws quick and makes his decision immediately, but throws 2 yards behind him.
Yep.
And he did that a couple times on some guys that were open whenever Pine Bluff brought a little pressure. And it was a quick slant route one-on-one, and he threw that ball, and it was behind. Yeah. And I don't like that. KJ was either behind or high in front.
And you don't want it to be high.
You have to put that right in the breadbasket, or at least semi-close, and he missed those twice. There was 2, and I understand it's just 2 throws in the game. I just don't want it. You have to make those throws in these games.
Yep.
You don't have to make them against Pine Bluff. You have to make them this week. So I hope that the makeup there when they 3rd and 4 and they bring the house and that slant is there and the safety's crashing on your guy, you've got to be able to hit your guy. Can we do that? Are we going to overthrow, throw behind, get our guy hit hard? Like, what are we doing? We also didn't have our number 1 wide receiver, Armstrong, who will be, I believe, back this week.
So what was your score prediction?
41-38.
41-38. All right.
I wanted to say 38-35, and I changed it up a little bit. I think there's going to be some field goals in this. There's going to be some kicking. There's going to be some mistakes made. This is a turnover battle to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give me somebody that we're not really talking about as like a rising star that's not really mentioned. They mention obviously quarterback play here. They're going to mention running back play because both teams have. I mean, we think we have a great running back.
Oh, Quinton Jackson.
I think he's phenomenal. He fumbled on the first play, but after that, he was great. Yeah. But they're talking about our running game. They're talking about Taylor. Is there a guy that you're, especially offense? It could be defensively. Is there a guy that they're not talking about that might have a game for you?
Yeah, Luke Haas.
You think he's going to have a game?
I think he's going to have a game.
I think he's just a stud. Also,
he's incredible.
From Oklahoma,
and we didn't use him that much.
He's from Oklahoma.
Oh, so he's going to be energized.
Yes.
He's gonna have motivation.
And also sure. Oklahoma State lost him to Arkansas. I think it's time to fight.
Yep.
But I think that this game, what we're not talking enough about, and you brought him up. What position does he play?
Oh, sorry. You talking about linebacker?
No. I'm saying who has
tight end.
I think Ty Washington as well. I think this is a tight end.
Washington is nasty.
I think this is a tight end game.
Okay.
I think that the wide receivers are going to start. They're going to start taking some shots, right? And I think it opens up the middle of the field for tight ends on Arkansas. You're going to go with. I always say, is it Haas?
I don't know.
They
I just
say it differently.
What it looks like to me.
I don't think it's Haas. I think it's Haas. But you pick Haas. I'm picking Ty Washington. I think because he's going to score. I don't know why. I think he's going to score a touchdown.
He scored last week.
I think that this is a tight end game for Arkansas.
Okay.
I think we're going to run the ball. I do. I think we're going to take our shots. And I think Satania is going to bust one. That's all it's going to take.
2 last week.
It's all it's going to take is he just needs a little bit of space and he's gone. We're going to hit him on a little bubble route or a little screen and watch this man work.
Yep.
So we both pick Arkansas. Do you have a stat that you're going to just a bold prediction?
No,
stat?
I'm not a stat guy. I can't predict stat.
Like running or nobody, no wide receiver, 4 catches, nothing, no touchdowns.
No.
Taylor Green goes for. Arkansas. I think he's going to go higher. I think we're going to score more passing wise. He's going to play an entire game. Goes for 282.
Whoo!
2 touchdown passes.
Okay.
I'll go with 1 more rushing touchdown.
Okay.
He's going to run
3 touchdowns.
That's 3 tutties. I don't want to say this. I think he throws a pick.
Okay.
Or he has a turnover, maybe a fumble.
Yeah.
He's going to have a turnover, 1 turnover.
With the way he runs with the ball, he's shit.
And I'm going to go, I want to say he's going to run a lot more. I'm going to go with, he did 88 this past week. He didn't play the whole second half. It was Pine Bluff. He's going to slide more. 65 yards rushing with a tutty.
That's respectable.
65 yards rushing, 282, 2 touchdown passes, 1 rushing, 1 turnover.
All right, there we go. Mark it.
I tried that last week. I was semi-close. Okay, we're done with Hogs. Sorry.
Done.
But we do have our upsets of the week.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We're locking them in. This is our locks of we will pick a top 25 team, whether it's the same or different, and we're going to stand on the horse and say they are either going to beat the spread, which could be a ridiculous spread, or outright. My upset is outright. I believe Illinois 1-0. I think it's at Illinois as well. Over number 19, Kansas. That's my bold prediction. Okay. I believe that number 19 will fall to Illinois, who I think is actually just outside the top 30. Mm-hmm. It's not a huge upset, but it is an unranked and a ranked matchup. The spread's like 5. I think Illinois gets them at home. This is like a big Super Bowl kind of thing for them. Jordan.
I got a big one.
You do. Jordan, the spread
is a big.
Is like 19 on his
game. And I'm not taking the spread. I'm taking an outright win.
Jordan
has taking a big upset here.
Outright. The team that was ranked number 3 last week, who didn't look that great, so they bumped to 7, but they are undefeated because they're 1-0. Number 7, Oregon loses.
Is going down
to Boise State.
Boise State's back, man. I like their quarterback. He's a freshman. He's young, but he has a lot of confidence. And that running back is, in my opinion, the best running back in the nation next to Ollie Gordon.
Boise State guys are 19-point dogs. He didn't pick the spread.
I'm not taking the spread.
He could have literally just said spread and we would have left it.
Nope.
He says outright.
I'll take
a 19-point dog gonna win the game.
And I will respectfully take my L.
If you're gonna bet that, guys, and you fully believe it like Jordan, if you're going to trust him, that's a good payout. That's a great
That'd
payout.
be a great payout.
But Oregon looked like crap. I'm not going to lie to you. They looked bad. They couldn't really move the ball. It was 17-14 against Idaho.
They get ranked
home
because of their uniforms.
They were ranked number
year.
3 in the country, and you're up 17-14 with like 6 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah.
They scored a late touchdown with like 5 to go to space it out 24-14 over Idaho, and I'm pretty sure Oregon was 18 to 25 point dogs.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, favorites. Oregon looked like crap. For a team that was ranked 3rd, I thought they looked the worst.
They talked about them being national title contenders.
They're
like not even making the playoffs. So like, oh, these guys are gonna be a top.
They looked like crap. Idaho, potatoes.
So mark it.
So mark it down. Upsets of the week: Illinois for me over Kansas, Boise State over Oregon. That would be phenomenal. If this happens, guys, you're never going to hit the end of it next week, and you might want to roll with Jordan on every pick.
I'll give me a Boise State jersey.
All right. So our going into it, we have our 6 games technically. We're going to have to write that down. Our upset pick will be a part of our pick.
I'm down. Yeah.
So
because it's a risk. You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
And I picked Illinois. All right. So going into this, Texas. I have Texas. You have Texas. Both of us have Tennessee. Both of us have Iowa. Both of us have Arkansas. I have Illinois over Kansas. You have Boise State over Oregon. Where we are different, I have Kansas State beating Tulane. You have the upset happening.
It's going to be a week of upsets, people.
That's
everyone was shocked last week, and they're like, "Oh, listen, football's not the same anymore."
Between us, that's 4 top 25s.
Yep, going down.
We have OK State down. 17 Kansas State. You have down. Then we have number 7 falling and number 19 falling.
None of us took the spread.
Not including that number 3 and 10 Michigan. One of them's fallen, and then NC State, Tennessee. So there's 7 top 25s that are going to fall
going down. College football, Mark.
I love college football. This is the most fun ever. So I can't wait. Also, Hog fans, we play at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Get your asses up, cook your hot dogs, cook your burgers, and watch the game, okay? Now we're going to go into Jordan's wearing his jersey because tonight is the night. By the time this episode comes out, the game that we're going to predict here is going to be over because this episode comes out on Friday. Tonight is Thursday. Jordan, what is the significance of this Thursday night?
Oh, it's the first game of the NFL season.
First game of the NFL season. Back.
AFC Championship rematch.
Okay. It's AFC Championship screw job rematch. Because Baltimore got screwed.
No, Baltimore screwed themselves.
But they also got screwed. There were some
phantom calls.
Lots of phantom calls. It doesn't matter if Baltimore played a perfect game that day. They were losing to Kansas City.
I mean, I don't know.
They were.
I think Baltimore shot themselves in the foot. Granted, yes, the calls happened, but Zay Flowers fumbling in the end zone. Zay Flowers fumbling in the end zone, and then the offensive coordinator choosing to only run the ball 6 times against the worst run defense in the league. Still a question by me, but now we have Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry's never in his career had less. He's never had 6 carries or less in a game.
And he also has never had Lamar Jackson.
Oh my God.
Zay Flowers.
Talk about thunder and lightning.
That
Lamar lost 20 pounds this offseason to get back to. He's back at his Louisville playing weight. The man is going.
We're going to pick Ravens versus Kansas City tonight.
In Kansas City.
In KC. I don't think
celebrating their Super Bowl rings.
I don't think it matters. I think redemption, thy name is Ravens.
Quote the Raven.
Nevermore. I think Baltimore goes in and waxes that ass.
Oh, you think it's a waxing?
I think that it's a wax job. I think it's like a 31. In the NFL, to me, 10 points or more is a wax job.
Two scores is a wax
job. I think a 31-17 kind of vibe.
Somebody just opened the door.
It was locked, so that's probably Carrie. Carrie! Yep.
There it is.
So I think it's a 31-17 kind of wax job.
Okay.
I think that Baltimore comes out hungry. I think that Henry starts to eat. They start to stack the box, and then Lamar does Lamar things. The things that they say that Lamar isn't supposed to do, and all the shit that he has. I love. It's your squad here. I love Baltimore this year. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, obviously, I take Baltimore here, but I have to say that It's not necessarily. It's not going to be. Yes, Lamar is going to play well. I think Lamar is going to play well. Derrick Henry's coming out game is going to be great. I think the defense is going to shine. We have a new defensive coordinator, so it's hard to say what's going to be called. You don't know how he's going to call the game. I think all the pressure is on him. I think the offense will play well, and then it'll be up to the defense and the defensive coordinator to try to.
You think the offense comes out like firing, or it's going to take a minute?
Listen,
what do you think?
The Ravens offense has not come out firing since 2019.
Right, but I'm saying this,
they start slow.
Right, they start slow, but they haven't had a running back like this where you can just give him the ball. He's Tennessee, bro. Like he ain't Tennessee. You're about to see what Tennessee's really about. Henry doesn't need much.
No,
just give me the ball.
Most yards before contact of any running back ever.
So
I have the Ravens winning. I have the Ravens only winning by a touchdown.
Okay.
And I think it's a lower scoring game. First game of the season. I'm actually going like 21-14.
Okay. 31-17.
Two really bad offensive lines.
Salty.
Two really bad offensive lines. It's going to be a defensive game, but I think points will come at the end of the game.
Okay.
I'm going to say I bet you it's 7-7 in the fourth quarter.
I hope it's not.
And then it ends up being 21-14 Baltimore. Last second touchdown.
I hope fourth quarter it is
Lamar
21-10.
Lamar on the bench.
21-10.
Okay.
Next game, Green Bay. They're talking about how they're back. Jordan Love had a great final 3 games.
I am a big Jordan Love fan. I'm a believer.
Are on the train or you're not?
Oh, I'm on the train.
They're going to Philly. And Philly.
It's in Brazil.
Oh, it's in Brazil.
It's in Brazil.
Okay.
So it's not even in Philly.
Here's the thing. The two teams that have the most power are the Baltimore Ravens and the Philadelphia Eagles.
What was it Nick Saban said? If you ain't paying the right people, you should have luck.
I think they're paying the right people. Saquon Barkley was the only thing that the Giants had, and now he's at one of the best offenses that was from last year, one of the best, with one of the best quarterbacks. Jalen's one of the best, sadly.
Okay.
I like Jalen. I think that the athletic ability that he has.
The reason I picked Green Bay over them is I think it's obviously a good problem to have. It's too many mouths to feed.
Okay, because you got
AJ Brown, you have Devontae Smith, and they just signed. They have Saquon, and they just signed. Who's that receiver they just signed?
I don't know.
They just got like another starting receiver to go in the third spot.
And then you have what's his name? Dallas Goedert,
and
who is on their team?
I'm sorry, it's like I'm drawing a blank here. But that's hard. Like that's a lot of people to try to keep happy, and as a quarterback, that can mess with you mentally. And I don't think Jalen Hurts has ever had that problem of needing to feed people. And I don't think. I mean, the offensive line is still going to be a top 5 offensive line, but without Jason Kelce, I don't know. Like, who's your leader? Who's your leader there? So that's why I say Green Bay. I like Green Bay's defense, and I think that they not necessarily have the tools to stop the Eagles, but I don't know. Like I feel good about Green Bay. In fact, Green Bay and Detroit are who I have in the NFC Championship.
I picked up Kenny Pickett. Jahan Dotson?
Yep, that guy right there.
He came from Washington.
Yep, that's why I have Scary Terry on my lineup, because now they have no other receivers.
Yeah. I'm going Green Bay here. I like Philly a lot. I really do. I know I just jumped on that train. I just think that Green Bay is the hype train. Like, I think that they're actually really good. And I'm not I'm not sold all the way in on a Jordan Love. I think he's gonna have a great year, but I do believe that they can. I think that what I think Baltimore is gonna do come out clicking. I don't know if Philly's gonna do that. I think they do start slow.
Okay,
and I feel like they'll pick it up as they go, and they'll get so much better. But Saquon, again, not too many mouths to feed. I don't think they know how to feed them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think that they can figure that out, but on 3rd and 3, are we throwing to you? Am I handing off to you? Am I running it here? Like, I feel like are
they going to pick the right mismatches?
Yes. And I think they make a couple mistakes.
Okay.
Game 3, just because I'm a Buffalo Bill fan, Arizona.
That's not even a game.
Going to Buffalo. Kyler Murray this is, I think, a breakout year for him. Like, I think that, not saying this is going to happen, but like this year really matters. This is a nut up or
It's
shut
huge
up.
for him, yeah.
It's a nut up
After
or
the
shut
injury,
up.
he had a great year, and then the injury happened,
Yep.
and
This
he didn't get
is
to play all last season. Like, I hate it for the kid, but
this is a massive year for him.
This is a big deal.
If he can come in to a Buffalo area against a team that is not proven now, lost a lot of key parts. Buffalo was old.
All I know is run, cook, run.
Buffalo was old last year.
Yeah.
They got rid of so many people on defense that I'm hurt. Micah Hyde, Poirier. They're like these old guys are gone.
Yeah,
they're
the
like
veteran leadership.
And then Gabe Davis, who really didn't play that much, to be honest with you, at the end of the year.
But when he
was
did,
the number 2.
Yeah.
But also, and then losing Stephon Diggs, is the Josh Allen effect real?
Okay.
Can he do it? Because everybody's always like, he's the biggest this, he's the biggest that. There's always that asterisk. And his kryptonite in the playoffs, not in the regular season, is Kansas City. But whose isn't? And I think that he has to break through.
It's okay.
Kansas
They're not
City
going to be there. We're knocking them out early.
I think that we do that.
No, we do.
I think you might knock us out.
No, y'all are gonna knock out the Bengals. We're gonna knock out Kansas City.
So I truly believe that Buffalo is going to be a really good team with a lot of new faces, a lot. And I think that the Josh Allen effect and the Cook effect and the Dalton Kincaid show is going to be real. I think at the end of the year, Dalton Kincaid will have a better year than Travis Kelce.
Oh, okay. Bold prediction.
I do. I think
that Dalton Kincaid is going to have your prediction is that he has a better season than Travis Kelce.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Better stats than Travis Kelce.
All right.
I don't know if that's saying a whole lot because Travis is older and Dalton's younger, but I'm just saying I think that the relationship between Dalton Kincaid and Josh Allen is going to be so strong.
Okay.
I think that
I respect that prediction.
I think they're a perfect match, like them two together.
All
I think Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen were not a good perfect match.
Okay. All right. What's our next game?
The next game. We both picked Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Game 4 for us. Jordan does not believe it's game. The 49ers and the Jets. I put it on here, guys, because of the Aaron Rodgers effect of him being back with Wilson.
I hope I'm wrong.
With Garrett Wilson in there. I can't wait to see it. I do too. And Breece Hall, like I love this. They got a little 3-headed monster. And I think that if Aaron is Aaron, this could be a lot better game than we think.
And maybe I've just been listening to the police scanner too much.
Yeah.
But the big, everything on the media is that New York is a joke. Like their offense is a joke. Like one of their.
But I just don't know if you can do that because I thought Green Bay's offense was a joke and Aaron Rodgers made it what it is.
Yeah. I mean, so we'll find out. Like I said, I hope they prove me wrong because I would love to see Aaron Rodgers. Not saying he needs to go win a Super Bowl, but I want to see him end his career on a good note. I don't want him to wear down like Brett Favre or like honestly, like I hate to say it, but like Peyton Manning did. Like I'd hate to see that for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I hope he has a great season and then is like, yeah, guys, I'm done.
I'm going to predict San Francisco to win, but I'm also predicting that Christian McCaffrey's playing.
Okay.
If for some reason Christian McCaffrey is not playing and he is held out, I want to flip to the Jets.
Okay. I'll give you that flip.
That's the only flip. If he's not playing, Jets.
I think no matter what, San Francisco wins.
I think that 49ers win if he's playing for sure.
Okay.
And our final game, which is kind of the battle, the second year new team draftees and tradies. It's a battle of second year quarterbacks.
Yep.
We have Houston Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts. Richardson versus Stroud.
But Stroud's got Stephon now. And he didn't even.
I don't even think that Stephon's going to be their one, to be honest.
Oh, no, it's Nico. Nico Collins is their number one
Tank.
receiver. Tank is going to be the safety outlet.
So we both pick Houston here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, even though I have Anthony Richardson as my as my starting quarterback in fantasy, it's just the Texans were good last year, and they didn't lose a lot. And they added Joe Mixon, and they added Stephon Diggs, and they've still got one of the great defensive minds in football coaching them, and so they're going to know how to play it. And they see the Colts a lot, so I think it's going to be a battle. Though I think this one's going to be close. I got the Texans, but I got the Texans by 7 or less.
Okay. Now we're going to get back into something that I didn't really talk about a lot without Jordan. Now we're going to get back into it. Real brief, wrestling.
Oh yeah,
wrestling.
That's my jam.
So
It was a great summer for wrestling. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about the bloodline,
Yes.
rejuvenation, and talking about Solo Sikoa trying to be acknowledged as the tribal chief, and Jacob Fatu, who is my favorite wrestler right now. Him coming in and just being a manimal. And
a beast, an absolute monster.
And so we can skip all that. All that happened. We saw some great wrestling.
One of the greatest returns of all time.
Oh yeah, Rhea was betrayed by Dom, and now he's with Liv, and they took Judgment Day with them, and now you have the Terror Twins with Rhea and Damian Priest, who I love that faction,
and they just beat Dom and Liv
handedly,
massively.
It was beautiful. It was great. It was a great revenge match.
It was.
I haven't liked some of the championship matches. Gunther versus Randy was an okay match. I don't
have a story yet.
I don't get the Gunther the hype. Sure, he's a great technical wrestler, but I like the more luchador style. I also
like the showmanship.
I do too.
I'm not saying he's not great. I think he's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
I think that I like people on a mic who can wrestle
yeah,
more than I have a technical wrestler who can't speak.
So you've had that storyline, and then I love the Drew McIntyre CM Punk.
They're still going with
going with it. I think we've got, CM Punk has a win, Drew McIntyre has a win.
And Drew just jumped him.
Yeah, and so we're going to have the rubber match at Bad Blood. And I think that will end that storyline.
Yeah, it needs to. And then Roman's I'm really anxious to see how they do this. So the bloodline.
I originally thought that they would bring Jay and Jimmy back to back Roman, but they've inserted Jay into this Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest storyline. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they're not going to split. They're not going to do two stories at once. Granted, they've been inserting people in different stories, to bring depth to their characters, which I do like. But I think they're really going to focus on this Jay and Rhea thing.
To make Dom and Liv jelly.
Absolutely. And so I don't know. I would love to see Zilla coming over from Independent Wrestling, who is Jacob Fatu's brother. He's even more of a maniac than Jacob is. I never thought Jacob was a maniac. That's just been his WWE character. Zilla is a fucking animal. Pardon my French.
I'm so excited for this bloodline stuff because Roman's come out and said nothing.
Not a word.
He has said nothing.
He came out, whooped ass, and
he came out and he comes back, makes the massive return, hits Solo, gives Cody a little head shake and a wink, and then I haven't forgot.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm handling.
Who I am.
This is my handle now, but I'm coming back. Then comes back by himself, does it again, puts on, I don't know, what do they call the thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
He puts on throws the championship, by the way.
Doesn't even care.
Out of the way. The tag championship. Throws it. Puts that on. That's a family heritage thing.
Just showing what's important to him.
Then gets beat up and jumped and put down, which I love because now he cannot come back alone.
Nope.
He has to have
a team.
Jimmy, who was jumped. I can't wait to hear, ladies and gentlemen, with Paul Heyman. And then does
Sami Zayn, baby.
Who comes back with Roman is the biggest thing.
I think we get Jimmy and I think we get Sammy. Jimmy and Sammy would be a fun tag team.
Sammy just went after Gunther for a second.
He did, but that ended real quick.
So I'm really confused. Is The Rock still in this or not? Are they bringing in new blood? Are they going to keep the old blood? I don't know. But
so many things they could do with
it. There's so much. Somehow I would love to see Jay come out and eventually help his family again.
Yeah.
I don't know. That storyline is very exciting. And then this Liv, Rhea, Dom triangle. Now it's a square because Jay's trying to get inserted in this, which I thought was great. I love their storyline. The Wyatt Six. I'm still sold on it. I kind of didn't like his mask. I kind of didn't like his mask with the crazy just long hair wig that you can see his hair underneath it. I feel like that needs to change. His attire needs to change a little bit, but him being inserted into that, and I think they're slow playing it really well. I understand we wanted to move past Chad Gable and his group, but it's if we can't get them to go too fast because we're gonna get really bored with them.
Well, there's a lot of storylines going on right now, and you don't want to. Obviously, as a company, you don't want to try to overshadow those stories. So you're like, hey guys, don't forget this is here.
Yeah, because the Judgment Day is still dealing with the Terror Twins, and I think that would be a great next Wyatt Six Judgment Day
because Dom betrayed his family.
Yes. And so but they have to get rid of the Rhea storyline, and then they have to have a storyline for the Terror Twins or for Rhea and Damien.
Yeah.
I think Damien should take Gunther out, but yeah. But I love the Wyatt Six. It's just slow playing, but I think they're doing great. I think it's doing great. And then on the other side of wrestling, AEW, MJF is back. He came back, and now he's a massive heel.
Yep.
He won the international championship. Yep. Took an hour in Little Rock. We were there. Goes to Wembley as he changes it to the American Championship, by the way. And he's wearing a red, white, and blue striped suit. He has a flag with his face on it.
Dude, I love him.
He is talking his shit. Now it's the American Championship. Will Ospreay beats him.
Oh, Will Ospreay, dude.
Will Ospreay hits him with a Tiger Driver, which is an illegal move that he said he would never do because he almost paralyzed Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
So now he hits MJF with it and beats him. Takes the championship. Also, who got tombstoned off the top rope was Garcia.
Yeah.
Danny Garcia?
Danny Garcia.
Danny Garcia gets tombstoned off. He's written off for a couple months. Comes back, and now he helps Will Ospreay as well beat. And so now Danny Garcia and MJF are feuding. MJF is the modern day Ric Flair that's uncensored. I'm not saying Ric Flair eventually got uncensored, but for a while they kept him under wraps.
MJF, like Word Life John Cena and Ric Flair had a baby, and it was MJF.
I love it. MJF is one of the best, I think, technical wrestlers.
He's on the mic.
And he's one of the, if not the best on the mic. Yeah. And now some of his stuff can get over people's head because most wrestling fans were a little bit more like, gum it down for me. And he sometimes can dig so deep with what he's doing.
You have to look into it.
Yes. But everything that he says is a shot at somebody, and it's fantastic. If you're not watching it, I invite you to because it's phenomenal.
And we've been saying for months, this is a beautiful time to be a wrestling fan.
They're moving to Netflix.
As soon as it goes to Netflix,
it's going to be
on. My gosh.
It's going to be on.
It's going to be Attitude Era all over again.
It's going to be on.
It's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Next up, guys, really briefly, we're going to...
As briefly as we can.
We both separately watched Beetlejuice.
Oh my gosh.
Last night.
Don't say it. Don't say it again.
Nope. They have to make another one, though, to complete that, I think. Are we allowed to do spoilers here? Do we want to forewarn people that we might spoil a little?
Are you going to be spoiling?
I'm asking you because I can spoil. I can try not to.
Spoiler alert. We're not going to intentionally spoil anything for you. But
if you're going to go see it,
stop here if you really don't want to know anything about the movie.
Right.
We're probably not going to say anything that you won't find in previews nowadays.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to touch on our points.
Yeah. What I liked, but also kind of didn't like, it's an hour and 45-minute movie.
Yeah. Which is great.
It was fast, which I liked, but it was also fast in the scenes I wish that were longer.
Yeah. And it was long in the scenes I wish were shorter.
Yeah.
That wedding scene at the end with the singing
was long.
Was about 3 minutes too long. That's the only real gripe I had about the movie is the very last scene where with the singing. I was like, why is this still happening? I get the point.
Yeah.
You sang the chorus.
But they kept going.
I was like, man, you kind of drug it on. You could have filled that space with other.
Yeah. Because there's an important part in 3/4 in, with the whole group.
Yeah.
And I thought while they were in that area as a group, there's a point
a little bit more.
There's a point where and this is Beetlejuice is kind of helping in a way. He's still doing his thing. Yeah, he's Beetlejuice. He still has his way of doing things, but whenever they were trying to help a lot and do their thing, I thought that scene could have been extended.
Absolutely.
And had more depth and meat to it.
Yeah.
And we got our first F-bomb.
We did.
Because they bleeped it in one of the scenes.
They did. In one scene, they bleeped it. And then at the end, you're like,
yeah.
Okay.
But that part, I thought was the best part of the movie. The movie, highly recommended. I'm trying not to ruin anything for you. It's fast. But whenever they build it up to him and you finally get him.
Here's my critics. Because I love to critique movies. I feel like I am a movie buff. So I feel like I personally have a right to talk about movies. As a standalone movie, not that great. As a sequel, fantastic. It gives you the same feeling as the original. I loved the way the style it was filmed.
Yep.
I loved the lack of CG.
I wanted to talk about that.
I liked that it was back to Tim Burton's roots, because Tim Burton has done a lot of CG in his movies lately. But I loved it. Everything looked original.
Yes.
They could have done this movie a year after the first one, and it would have been, nobody would have been like, this is like cinema reimagined. It's not. It's Tim Burton, awkward. Nobody, in my opinion, nobody plays awkward better than Winona Ryder. And the acting was top notch. I haven't seen a movie in a very long time where I wasn't like, that person just, their acting is really bad.
Yeah.
All the acting in that movie was great.
Fantastic.
And so, yeah, as a sequel, I give it a 9 out of 10. Absolutely.
I agree. What I loved is whenever you have these fantasy wild sequels that are 30 years away.
Yeah.
36 years? 88.
9, yeah.
So 30, is it 36?
That's 36 years.
36 year gap. Whenever you do a sequel like this, the CGI is normally so crazy because it's like you can tell everything is fake. I mean, I'm not going to hate on Deadpool and Wolverine, but whenever they were going through the bus,
yes,
and whenever he jumped out, if you watch Wolverine, like he's literally like one of those CGI characters. Yep. It just didn't look right. You can see, yeah, he was.
But that was because they were making fun of the video game,
right? But I'm saying like the CGI was.
But yes, it was.
Normally, you see movies like that were like, okay, that CGI was too much. I'm not. That could have been intentional for Deadpool, but I was scared that was going to happen with Beetlejuice. Like they went more back to the '88 version of things,
and I can tell you why. Whenever you're done.
Like whenever you in the '88 version, whenever they're in the desert and the sandworms are everywhere, whenever they revisit that kind of thing, it's just like that.
It's beautiful.
It is literally like they took the '88 cinema and put it in this. So I was like, they didn't change it, which they could have, because I loved the weird Beetlejuice. If you're not a Beetlejuice fan, you're not going to like this movie.
No, like as a standalone movie, it's not going to capture you.
It is weird. It's got the dark humor, the weird humor. It's annoying at times. Some things are strung out.
It's Tim Burton's original animation style, which is not every kid or adult who didn't like that stuff's cup of tea.
Like, I loved it.
I wasn't upset about it.
And they kind of, at the end, in my opinion, it can be done if they choose. The door is not closed.
It's not. I don't think it is.
Like, I think that you have to do 3 Beetlejuices.
You have to do.
Because it's his name. Here's what I hope. If they do a third, that it is 90% him.
It won't be, and I'll tell you why.
I want him.
It won't be. And that's funny because that is a perfect segue into what I was going to bring up. So they did an interview with Michael Keaton about like, hey, what made you finally decide to talk to Tim Burton about re-upping this character? And they were like, people always ask, like, was there any like special asks? And Michael Keaton said, I only asked Tim Burton 2 things. He said, if you want me to play Beetlejuice, you have to do these 2 things. He said, the first thing is, I only want Beetlejuice in the movie as much as needed to progress the story. Because in the first Beetlejuice, even though he's the title character, he's only in the movie for 17 minutes.
Yeah.
And so he liked that. He said he didn't need Beetlejuice to continue the story. The story wasn't about Beetlejuice in the first movie. And in this one, it's not really about Beetlejuice. It's a little bit more. You did get a little bit more. But he told Tim Burton, I only want my character to be in this movie as much as it is needed to progress the storyline.
So if they did a third one, though, and it's his name, and
but that's
it,
what that was.
I would hope he would change his mind to progress the story.
He was in it a little bit more this time.
Finish it,
and maybe to finish it. And then his second ask was to ask Tim Burton. He said, "I will do this movie only if you do your original style. No CG."
And he did it,
and it was, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. It was absolutely great.
I hope if they do a third one that he does have more. And I know that
all I gotta say is one of my favorite characters in the movie was Bob. I'm not going to spoil.
He was everybody.
Bob was fantastic.
Bob is a national treasure.
Yeah.
And everybody in this movie, you will love Bob. Okay, everybody.
Everybody loves Bob.
Everybody. But this is what pissed me off was we saw that Regal had the sandworm popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
And it was plastic, real sandworm popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
We called Regal. There's only one Regal in the whole state.
Yeah.
Which is North Little
Little
Rock.
Rock. They used to have one down here off Rodney Parham, but it closed.
Yep. And so we called them. They have 15 buckets. That's it. That's all they were given. We good? We bought tickets early.
Okay.
Wednesday night tickets were $21 a piece. Like, for this experience.
Mhm.
I'm thinking, we got this. We're going to go get the bucket. They also had the book, like a prop book.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
We got the book. And then they had the cup. And then they had the bucket and the tombstone.
Yeah.
You could buy any. We get there. The popcorn bucket doesn't go on sale till today. Which made no sense.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's early access.
Yeah.
We should have access to everything. It's early. Like, we paid extra for that. They did not sell us the bucket. That's why we went early, was we wanted the bucket.
Yeah.
So we bought the cup and
the book.
And literally this morning, my mom, only one per person, my mom, me, and my grandmother drove up there.
Yeah.
But we got 3 buckets. They opened at 10:30 because their first movie was at 11. Now, Beetlejuice wasn't open till 3 o'clock, but the guy kind of gave us a little loophole and said, when we open, they go on sale.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a ticket. So if you want to get these, I'm sorry, you can come back. But come back tomorrow like 10:30, you'll get them. We got there. We were the first in line. There was no one behind us. We bought 3 buckets. They're awesome. I want to make them like pottery buckets.
Yeah.
I think it look cool. As we're leaving, we're carrying them out. These dudes come in and are like, do they have any left? And we're like, I think so. They were running to go get these buckets.
Yeah.
We got 3. We got the buckets. I was just really pissed off a little bit on how I paid an extra $5 per ticket.
Yeah, and
for 5 tickets, and I didn't even get the
stuff.
option. Also, they didn't have anything. They also didn't have Beetlejuice merch there yet, which they were supposed to have like shirts and stuff for you to buy. They didn't have anything other than, which is crazy to me. They had
living
boxes,
in Arkansas,
but they had boxes galore of the tombstone, of the cup, and of the whatever the hell else, the book. But they only had 15 sandworm buckets, which you wouldn't sell to people.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Man, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. How you really doing, though?
I'm doing
It's
good.
been a minute. How you
It
really
has been.
doing? I haven't seen you in a month.
I
haven't seen you since we won a flag football championship.
I said that on our last one. We did win it.
But I have not seen you since we won.
He is not. I'm doing good.
Good.
We have the wedding coming up.
Yeah.
Less than 100 days. We have less than a month away. We're going to Talladega.
Yeah, we are.
Party our faces off. Business is doing good. Just got back from traveling. I'm ready to get back to work. And to me, it's already fall. September is fall. When we start saying fall.
That rain that we had yesterday was to me the transition into fall.
Yeah. So I'm doing good. Family's doing good.
Good.
Don't want to do any big check-ins. We did that last week.
Okay.
Everything's okay.
Good.
You have a 3-month hiatus.
Oh my gosh.
How are you doing?
Let's
This is
see.
your time.
Man, when was the last time that we checked in? What was going on?
I don't even know. It's 3 months ago.
Well, let's see. In the last month, so since July, we'll just start since the end of July. Since the end of July, I was offered. It's weird to say I was offered a position. I wasn't offered a position. I was offered a chance to. I was asked to interview for a position, which they've been trying to get me. My company's been trying to get me to go into a people leader position for a while. They put me through this leadership training course, which I just graduated from last week. And that was a lot. That was a great experience. Just going through those different leadership courses and the different leadership styles. And, we did like emotional leadership. It was really great. It was a great experience. But in the midst of that, they asked me to interview for a position in Glasgow, Scotland.
Is that what you're going to tell me?
That's what
I would have
gonna
never
tell you.
guessed Scotland.
No. And that's somewhere that me and Andrea want to live. That's somewhere we've talked about, like when the kids graduate. That's
So you
where
thought
we're going.
about this?
I interviewed 3 weeks ago. From the actual people who interviewed me, I've not heard anything. But from the guy whose position I would be taking, I did not get they're not going to offer me.
Oh, do you know why?
Money.
You want too much?
It would have cost them too much. To move me.
This mother trucker ain't cheap.
To move me and the family. From here to Scotland. They had 2 big worries. One was the fact of me moving. And I blame a Canadian for this. They hired a guy about a year ago. They hired a guy to move from Canada to France. And this was their first international hire. It was their first immigrant hire.
Yeah.
The guy didn't last a year and he quit. He's like, I'm miserable. I'm away from my family. I hate this. I quit.
You chose it.
Yeah. So they were weary. They were like, is he going to be happy here? In fact, my entire interview was 45 minutes of talking about if me and my family would be happy over there. They didn't want to talk about the position. They're like, we know you can do the position. Like, we're not worried about that. We know you can do the job. We don't want to talk about that. But their big worry was, are you going to be happy? Are you and your family going to be able to transition? And then their second worry was the money, because I would have to take a huge pay cut.
Yeah.
Because the UK, the pay is just different.
Would you have been okay with that?
Yeah, because I understood the cost of living was
less or
less.
more.
And I even told, I tried to express to them throughout my whole interview, I tried to express that, yes, me and my family would be happy. Like, this isn't just like we saw and we're like, oh, this would be a cool gig. Like, no, this is somewhere like me and Andrea want to end our lives. Yeah. I would love to hear why they didn't offer me. And it could be that they're offering, and I reached out to the guy and we were talking about soccer. Like, it wasn't even a conversation about work. But I was reaching out to the guy that is transitioning to a different position in Scotland. I was like, hey man, are you ready for soccer season? He goes, yeah. And we talked for a minute. He goes, hey, and I'm sorry to hear that you didn't get an offer. I heard that they offered somebody else who's here. So it's somebody that already lives in Scotland and that they won't have to move, because again, they would have had to have paid to move me, and they would have had to have paid me more than they're already paying all of their people over there. And that's just not a good look, I guess. But I would really just like to hear something from them, because no one has officially told me I didn't get the job,
right?
Except for this guy who said, I heard they offered somebody else.
So maybe wrong.
And if that guy says no, I still don't think I'm going to take the job.
Plot twist. So I got offered a new job in Scotland, and
awesome. Let's go.
I was saying that they called me. Plot twist. I'm gonna be going.
Good, go.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm staying right here.
But yeah. So I was sad for about a day. I told Andrea that I was allowed to be sad for